It's time to be creative. It's time to go to my happy place where people get eaten all the time. And I have to laugh at myself because that's effectively it.
It looks like it's up to me to save the world, and that is not going to happen. Home and scuba.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Son of a gun, definitely a good thing. It was cool yesterday, but it's gonna be hot today. Yeah, high 80s. So later on, I'm gonna have to be closing up the house and then just having the cooler air of the inside circulate around. It's never as good as when it's cooler, but it's better than having the windows open and boiling to death. But I slept last night, and that was a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up on that, and hopefully you have been doing well. Definitely good. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like if you like what you hear and see. If you like what you hear and see and you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you could, that would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without these people, I would be hosed like a Christmas monkey. I would not be able to stay underneath the roof. I wouldn't be able to have my pets. I wouldn't be able to live. If you would like to help me and my pets survive, there are links to my Patreon in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there are links to a PayPal where you can help me out. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wishlist link as well with stuff like cat food and the like. And of course, I have a post office box where if you'd like to send me anything from postcards to whatever you'd like, that is available. All in the video description. Front loading of videos over. Yay! Thumbs up for that. Oh my gosh. Something happened yesterday that was both frustrating and funny. Previously, my genetic father, whom I have met and talked with as a conscious person, for less than a week through my entire life, he had called me, left a message on my answering machine, but didn't give his number. So I got the number from my half-brother on Facebook, but I haven't been able to call him yet. I had the phone with me all day yesterday, up here. Every time I was up here, and I spend 95% of my time in the house, in this room, I had the phone with me. The one time I didn't is when I had to make a dash to the bathroom. I wasn't there long. That night, I discovered that, once again, my genetic father had called me during that one brief sliver of time when I didn't have the phone. I had it with me 99.99999% of the time. And he called during that 0.00001% of time when I didn't have it. So, Joy, I gotta try calling him. I mean, he's in his 80s. I'm gonna be turning 60 here soon. Oy vey. So, and again, thumbs up and thank you if you ever watch my videos. It is appreciated. The way YouTube is, my views keep going down, and the way I am, everything is just going down and down and down. I'm older. I'm weird. I don't really, what's the word? It's not, when you appeal, that's the word. Oh my gosh, boomer brain. I don't really appeal to younger people because I'm an older person. And I may be immature for my age, but I'm still turning 60. Oy vey. So I got a lot stacked against me. Most of it just me being me. But life is life. I can't even remember what I was starting out and doing, so my apologies. It's that kind of day. But yesterday, yes, I had a tiny bout of falling asleep, very, very small. Past that, I did play some video games, more Ghost of Tsushima. Very, very good game if you've never played it, quite awesome. And I did some Grim Dawn before I went to bed, and of course went out for walkies. My housemates have spent 95% of their time not here. I'm spending most of my daytime all by my little lonesome in the house. It's, on the one hand, kind of nice. I mean, I am separate but not isolated. I am alone but not lonely. I like to be around people even if I don't interact with people. I don't do well all by myself. So being alone and all by myself during most of the day is both pleasant and thumbs up for that though. Still, I mean, life is life. I'm down to, I maybe will have $4 or $5 now to spend on food until Friday. So I'm down to about 190 pounds. I mean, I've lost 20 pounds over the past couple months just because I don't have enough money for food. And I don't mind losing that weight. It's just, I don't really want to go too far, because I lose too much weight, I look like I've come out of some sort of horrific camp. So that's not good. Past that though, just been surviving, thinking about creative stuff while I was out on walkies. The funny part is, I laugh at myself. It's not really funny, it's just, I laugh at myself because when I'm thinking about all these things, I'll deliberately have to stop myself when I'm going on walkies in the beginning from thinking about stuff that's happening, the pressures of life. It's like, okay, knock it off. It's time to be creative. It's time to go to my happy place where people get eaten all the time. And I have to laugh at myself because that's effectively it. I mean, on the inside, on the razor's edge, the whole cryptid stuff, I mean, human beings are largely on the menu, almost above other creatures. I mean, people get eaten all the time in both of these. Well, they're the same setting. It's just, there's the inside, there's the razor's edge, there's the outside where we live, and the cryptid world is overlaid on top of that. So it's all the same setting, and a lot of people get eaten on the inside. A lot of people are eaten on the razor's edge. I mean, it's to the point that there are almost an infinite number of people on the razor's edge, and there's so much creative energy that people are being created from this energy all the time to make up for everyone that's lost. When the energy stops flowing and the rate of creation doesn't stop, so the backlog of energy quickly runs out, it only takes about 250 million years to go from an almost limitless number of people to about 1 trillion, because it's just human reproduction that has to take up the slack. And even if humanity turned into nothing but a huge breeding farm for the express purpose of not going extinct and turned off every other reason for life, the number would still be negative. There's no way to make up the slack. So it takes about 250 million years before there's only 1 trillion people left. Not much longer after that, the kaiju harries them all to death and then goes hunting, and then there's nobody left because everyone in the entire razor's edge has been eaten. Yay! But with cryptid stuff, which is what I'm going to talk about now, there is a lot of weird stuff that I wanted to talk about. Tiny little things like, one of the distinctions of how the cryptids even think about each other, light and dark, is rough. There's a play on words where, Jimmy is Polly's boyfriend. Jimmy is a dark cryptid. Polly is, Jimmy and Polly. Polly is a light cryptid. Because of increased social awareness, there has been a reaching across so that the dark and light are trying to interact more instead of shunning each other. Try to remember now, take a look here. The reaction of Polly's family to Jimmy is they really like him. Polly's father, Alan, really likes him, and Polly's mother, Clausy, thinks he looks good enough to eat. But since he's so much younger and so much more fit, she's never going to be able to ambush him. She'll never be able to take him down. She'll never be able to eat him. So, other than that, he's a real good kid, and he really seems to love Polly a lot. And that's a good thing. She really likes that about Jimmy, because if in the future, if they stay a couple, because he loves her so much, she should be able to eat him without warning if she needs to, because he'll never see it coming. So they're a good match that way. So those are Clausy's ideas on Jimmy. She really likes him, but in a much more pragmatic, when can we eat him sort of way. And of course, she wants her daughter Polly to start popping out kids. Litters. You have litters if you're a cryptid largely. Not because she wants to have grandkids, but because from long-standing tradition that's lasted forever, there are runts that get born. And anywhere from no runts to the entire litter are runts. And it's not physical runts. If you are a cryptid runt, that is your cryptid presence and cryptid vision are down at human level. You have cryptid body and you have human level senses. You're a runt. Generally, they just eat those children. And by long-standing tradition, the grandmother gets first choice. So she wants Polly to have kids so that she can start eating the runts. That's what she's looking forward to. And if you're a runt, yeah, if you manage to survive, if they don't just eat you at birth, they will likely just, whoever finds you will likely just kill you when they do as an adult. Not out of hate, not out of fear, but out of pity. Because you are so crippled of being unable to access your birthright of cryptid senses that it's better that you just die. Non-existence is better than existence if you have no cryptid sense and you have a cryptid body. The worst of dark cryptids will take little artifacts that artisans can create. There are little artifacts are of two types. There's the focus that you can make if you're an artisan that acts like a battery, and they'll last for so long as they're in use. And then those that are like kind of little motors that charge themselves and run the focus through the ambient energy that is the cryptid energy. Spellsinger the sword, it will never run out of power. It has a battery type focus. A lot of people make things like boosters where it adds the power of the booster onto your innate vision. Because they're easy to make, they generally are the battery type. They'll last, if you just use them for a second or two at a time, they'll last, a couple hours. If you just turn it on and use it it'll last a couple minutes, depending on the quality. The worst of the dark cryptids, when they come across runts, will slap the focus and activate it on one of these runts. If you have like a cryptid sense of, say, 40, if you put it into role-playing game terms, and you bump 30 onto that, suddenly they've got a 70 vision, and they can see the cryptid world. And it is shocking, because they get to see the cryptid world. They get to feel what it's like to have that sense, and it feels good to be alive as a cryptid. Your cryptid senses detect about 10% more of the world than normal human senses. It feels good to smell things, to taste things, to see, to hear, to feel the air in your lungs and on your skin. It feels good to be alive and seeing the world as it really is, with cryptid stuff all around. And then, of course, you realize that this feels like home. It makes you complete. You didn't even realize you had this hole inside of you, this ragged, bleeding hole. You thought it was just you, but now you realize that this is what was torn from you, your birthright. This fits the hole. You are complete. This is how you are supposed to be. And then the booster runs out. And you're back to regular human senses. And all you have is just the memory of that. I find it still somewhat soul crushing because I can't take Ritalin because of my ADHD. Ritalin brings me up to a golden mountain on a hill. I can think, I can concentrate, I can focus, I can remember. And if I take Ritalin, I will die because it raises my blood pressure up so high. It is soul crushing that any other med that I take makes me up about here instead of up here where I was almost normal. And instead I'm down here, and I find this almost soul crushing, and it's just a medication. What would it be like to have yourself made whole and complete and then have it ripped away from you with only a fading memory of a shining city on a hill that you can never go back to? And that's what these cryptids feel. Before this happens, they're like, please don't kill me. Please don't. I don't want to die. I want to live. And when the booster runs off, if you're standing there with a weapon, they're just begging you. They're taking the barrel and putting it against their forehead, and they are begging you to pull the trigger if they have to live like this. And the worst of the worst just say no, and then let them live like that. Ugh. I would hate to be a runt in the cryptid world and survive. There is more that goes on here that I've written down. Actually, there is one thing. There is the game Mortuary Assistant. I saw people play it as a demo, and it's one of those games that just, for me, it is dull as dirt. I don't find that sort of thing scary, as it's one of those things I don't believe in, and I can't have enough suspension of disbelief to be scared by it. While everyone in the world is being terrified playing it, I would be mocking it for being a bad game if I was playing it. So it's a good thing that I don't. I'm glad people enjoy it, but hokey smokes. And of course, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never many anymore, but anything word and zero is awesome. Thank you so much if you have left me a comment. And of course, thank you so much if you've watched this far. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Nobody is forcing you to watch. If you do, it is just a thumbs up and thank you. Definitely a good thing. Now, if I mispronounce to use a name, no disrespect is intended, and I count American Sign Language, because I was slurring my hand movements there. And so it's, but with my brain, oy vey. See, I'm not even sure I said that halfway correctly. My brain. We have Jesse Koskinen. Good to see you in the comments, my friend, and thank you very, very much. We have the Horror Files. One of these days, I will remember to give you that shout out. I'm very sorry, but thank you very much. It is a good set of wads. It is a good wad, the Doom wad with all the levels on it. Happy Valley, thumbs up and thank you. JAYY, I meant to talk about determinism this time. I'm very sorry. Hopefully I'll remember tomorrow. Good to see you and thumbs up. Then we have Toxic Taco. I like the name and thank you very much. I will do my very best to try and react to that. Insignificant Nick, good to see you in the comments. And hey, I am glad I was able to help there. Thumbs up on that. We have Loco5. thumbs up. Good to see you in the comments. Greatly appreciated. Adrian, thumbs up and thank you. And I can't push my creativity, so I can't really push it, but when I come up with stuff, I do post. Thumbs up, good to see you, and thank you. We have Rob C, greatly appreciated. And then there is Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. And then we have Tall Dude 123, good to see you in the comments. It's been a time. And then that is actually it. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time and if only in text. Thumbs up and thank you. So I got a lot of stuff I'm going to try and get done today. I need to call up the hospital again about my whole trying not to get my stuff sent off to collections. So joy on that. But I'm going to try. Hopefully you can get done the things that you can get done. And if you can't, don't beat yourself up. It doesn't help. It just hurts you. And of course, with diseases a-raging, please be as smart as you can about whatever situation you are in. You don't need to get sick. You don't need to make other people sick. You don't need to suffer lifelong complications from being sick. You don't need to toss your body or anybody else's body onto the end-of-life corpse pile. Excuse me. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.